The doctor has said you're diabetic, and now you can't have tacos or burritos or quesadillas or any of those good things you used to enjoy, right? Well, that's not actually right at all. Welcome to this edition of Beat Diabetes, where I welcome my lovely assistant and wife, Benedicta. Welcome to Beat Diabetes.
Thanks, Dennis. I'm happy to be here.
Well, I'm happy you are here. It's always more fun when you're around.
Thank you.
Well, it's true. Today, we could call it Tortilla Day, couldn't we?
Yeah, it looks like it. It's all over the table.
You know, I got to thinking, this isn't just Tortilla Day.
Okay.
We've been to India a few times, right?
Yes.
And they have something remarkably similar to a tortilla they call a chapati or roti.
Yes.
So the idea of a flat, thin, round bread has been around forever.
Yes.
I did Google it to see where did the tortilla come from. They said, well, I think it was the Aztecs in Mexico that were doing it a long time ago. But they say it's been around for thousands of years. But if you go to India and the chapati and the roti, I expect that's been around just as long.
Yeah,
the Indians came up with their version and called it one thing, and the Mexicans the other, the Hispanics. Yes. And we Americans have adopted it as our adopted friend and little child.
Food. Yeah.
But of course, there's a problem for people with blood sugar issues with tortillas, and that is they're made of grains, right? Corn and wheat are the two principal ingredients in tortillas, either corn or wheat. And those are not our friends. In fact, they are our enemies.
Right. When it comes to blood sugar
When it comes to blood sugar, they are our enemies. The average tortilla is going to be around 22 grams, which is not super high, but it is too high. And the time you eat a couple of them, you're up even twice as high. So when I first got into the idea of keeping my carbs low, I gave up on tacos. I gave up on quesadillas, burritos, all of those good things.
Oh.
And then in these last years, some marvelous new products and recipes have come along.
Okay.
So,
but I have a question for you. Do you miss those days that you missed all that?
I feel bad. I wish I could go in a time machine and go back to Dennis of 2002 and say, hey, little buddy.
And eat them?
There's a way for you to get around this and still enjoy your tortillas.
Oh, okay.
But I can't do that. So poor Dennis of 2002, 2003, those years, he just had to struggle.
Yep.
You know, that reminds me, before I knew I had blood sugar issues and before I went low carb.
Yeah.
One of my favorite lunches to take to work back in my Lamb and Lion days when I was working for Lamb and Lion Ministries.
Tortilla?
I would take a bean burrito or a bean/beef burrito, which is about 50 grams of carbs. It's more than a candy bar. And then I would take a bag of chips with it. That would be my lunch. And I was all proud about my bean burrito and my chips. And I thought, man, I'm having a great lunch. I'd look at someone else eating a little miserable sandwich and think, I've got a bean burrito and chips. I didn't realize at the time what a disaster, what a nightmare that was for my blood sugar.
Okay.
We've got here 5 different types of tortillas, or if you want to call them chapati, if you're from India, whatever you want to call them, they're basically flat, thin breads.
Surely flats.
One thing you don't normally do, you don't put any yeast when you're making these things because that's going to make them rise. You don't want them to rise. You want them flat. Now, the Indians have a product they call naan that does rise, but that's another story.
Okay.
You got naan, you got chapati, you got roti. There's probably 3 or 4 other names that they use. They love their breads.
Okay.
And they are good. And back when I went to India before I had these issues, I would have enjoyed them. But anyway, why do people use tortillas? What we have here is essentially a poor man's taco. We could have put a lot more ingredients on here, but this is mostly a taste test to see to see how the tortillas taste. So there's no use heaping lettuce and sour cream and all kinds of tomatoes. And I just put the basics: hamburger, cheese, and picante sauce.
Okay. We would have made it like rich man's food.
Yeah.
Add all the things.
But they're coming up with so many products these days.
Yeah.
Like on the far end, we've got something called a crepin, and it's basically an egg product, and it's in the form of a tortilla. But if you'll excuse my reach.
Right.
These things are so thin, you can't hardly take them out of the package without tearing them. There's like 12.
Okay.
Look, I tore one just trying to get to it.
Out.
But look how flimsy that is.
Let me see. Okay. It looks like you cut this part out.
Yeah, I tore it.
But the thing is, like, it won't be able to hold the...
Oh, I know. I doubled it on that one because you're right. I don't think it would hold up if you put much on it. Even two probably wouldn't hold up much. Anyway, those are the crepits. Now, this next one is interesting. I haven't even tried it yet, but this is called the Nuco Organic Coconut Wrap.
Okay.
And it's 4 net grams of carbs. Nuco Organic Coconut Wrap. I haven't tasted it, but I took a smell of it just to see how it smells. And it smelled good. Now,
it looks good, like, well squared.
Yeah, very thin.
Yeah.
But that's fine.
And it's stronger.
Yeah, it's strong enough. Now, this is our old friend. These are the Carb Balance. This is the Mission Carb Balance.
Is that a
tortilla? It's low carb. It's only 3 net grams of carbs. And then I have another version. We won't try it today, but this is the Extreme Wellness.
The high carb?
No, this is low carb as well. It's high fiber.
Okay.
And it is 4 net grams of carbs.
So it's good to use?
It should work. Now, some people write in and leave comments and say they don't work for me. So I'm not going to guarantee you need to kind of experiment.
Right.
This is the value of this one is it's the simplest thing. You pull it out of the fridge, you put your stuff on it, bam, you're done.
Good to
go. These other ones you can buy as well, but we're going to talk about a homemade one. This one I got from a guy named Steve who has a YouTube channel called Serious Keto.
Okay.
He's good. He has a lot of recipes. He's really into cooking.
Yeah.
And he showed how you can make a microwave tortilla.
Okay.
And the neat thing about it is it doesn't take long. I don't want to have to spend 30 minutes making a food before I can enjoy it. I like fast recipes. But, this comes from Israel by way of Steve on Serious Keto, now by way of us. And, sometimes I say we need action sequences in our program. It's too much talking head, too much just yakety yak.
No, Dennis, you're not going to make me do this.
No, I'm not going to make you.
What are we doing? Tell me what it is.
All right, here's what it is. Sometimes when you watch a news commentator or something, they'll share some introduction to some exciting sequence or some video clip. Then they'll look up in the corner like they're watching it, which I guess they are. Well,
they do that?
Yeah, we're going to do that right now. But the truth is, there's nothing up in the corner. We're just going to pretend there's a monitor up there, and we're going to share an action sequence of me making one of these homemade microwave tortillas and see how fast I can do it.
Yeah, just up there now.
Yeah, so let's watch the monitor up there that doesn't really exist.
Okay, where are we really looking at?
So I made the whole thing in 2 minutes and 35 seconds. That doesn't include the microwave. That was an additional 90 seconds. But, I mean, that's pretty fast.
Yeah.
2 minutes and about 2.5 minutes, basically, and you're done, except for the 90 seconds in the microwave. So this ticks the box as far as it doesn't take long to make. It ticks the box as far as I love the smell of it. And it's cheap. The ingredients, you can buy some ingredients and you'll have enough to make dozens and dozens and dozens of these, so it's not expensive. The only question is the taste. I have my opinion because I've been sampling these like crazy and experimenting with these, as you very well know. Mm-hmm. But you have had one experience with them with the was it the quesadillas? No, the fajitas. Yeah, and the quesadillas, actually.
Yeah.
And then finally, we've got a mystery tortilla that I just...
It's surely looking like mystery.
I just experimented with today. And
is that your version of the tortilla shell?
This is one of my own little adaptations or modifications.
Oh my gosh.
I'll talk about that in a moment.
Am I supposed to be scared of it? Have I eaten it before?
But
no.
Before we get to all that, okay. I want to give you an imaginary scenario. Let's say you've got your car parked and you've been in the store somewhere and you come out and you're ready to leave the parking lot. You start the car up. But there's two people right in front of your car talking. They don't even notice you. You've got the car started. You're ready to go, but they don't even notice you. What do you do?
Oh, that African side of me will come out honking at them.
Well, now, a polite person might walk up to them and say, excuse me, but I'd like to leave now. Could you move over a little bit?
Okay.
Or a less polite person might either honk or just open the window and say, hey, get out of the way.
I gotta
go. Get out of the way. Now, I want to highlight those words.
Okay.
Get out of the way.
Oh.
Why is that important? Because to me, that is the essence of the tortilla. Its job is to hold your ingredients, your sauce, your meat, your cheese, whatever you put on there, sour cream, and then get out of the way. In other words, you don't want the flavor to overpower you. You want to taste the meat, you want to taste the cheese, you want to taste the sour cream, all the good ingredients that are inside. You really don't want a strong tortilla taste much at all. It's just holding it and maybe helping to fill you up.
Right.
So the question is, do these get out of the way? Will they not be nauseating or taste bad? Okay. So we're going to do something right here on YouTube. I want to say YouTube TV, but it's not YouTube TV. On our YouTube channel, we're going to sample one of each of these. Just take a bite. We're not going to eat the whole thing. We couldn't eat all 5 of these. And we're going to give our opinions as to the taste. So go ahead and roll that first one up and tell us what you think of it. Okay, so just as a reminder, the egg tortilla, the coconut tortilla, the carb balance store-bought tortilla, the homemade microwave tortilla we got from Series Keto, and the modified version that uses flaxseed instead of almond flour.
Well, who taught you that one?
Nobody taught me. I just tried it. So, out of all these, rank them from the worst to the best. Which one did you like the least? The flaxseed tortilla. Okay. All right. Which was the second worst? This was number 5, working our way up to number 1. What would be number 4?
This one.
That's the coconut wrap. Not too crazy about the coconut flavor?
I like the coconut flavor, but it was really like too thin. It was like too thin to come up. And
then number 3. This is number 5. This is number 4. Going from the worst to the best. What would be number 3?
Well, the thing is, like, honestly, I like every one of them.
Okay.
But, based on I don't know what, but that I didn't really like. It was kind of chaff.
Yeah,
chaffy.
I thought you'd use that word. You're right. It's kind of a rough, coarse type. It's not very smooth.
No.
But I kind of liked it. But anyway, so these others you think are just a tie?
I liked it, yeah.
Okay. In my case, I would say that this one I bought at Walmart is the Crepin, C-R-E-P-I-N, made of just almost pure eggs. I thought it was nasty. For one thing, it's way too thin. You rip them, just taking them out of the package. For a second thing, it doesn't get out of the way like I was talking about. You notice the flavor, and it's not that great. My opinion. We're all different.
I like it.
Okay, so Benedicta votes thumbs up.
Yeah.
Dennis votes thumbs down. Really, I think almost all of these, to me, are close to equal.
Yeah.
This is probably not, this flaxseed version.
Too rough in the mouth.
It's not something I'd want to eat all the time, but once in a while, I wouldn't mind it at all. I think it's pretty good, but I have to admit, these two.
You tried this, sweetie. You tried it.
These two, I think, are the best. The carb balance and the homemade microwave version.
Yeah, they're good.
The coconut is not bad.
It's not bad. It's good.
But it's kind of expensive. It was like $6, if I'm not mistaken, for five wraps. So a little over $1 a wrap. Kind of expensive.
I like the coconut. I like the coconut flavor in there.
Yeah. So anyway, lots of choices. And this recipe that I got from Steve on Serious Keto that he got from some guy in Israel.
Yeah.
I think that's a winner. And if you just happen to be out of the normal tacos, the low carb, don't get the regular tacos. But if you're out of the low carb tacos, you can put this together in 2 minutes and 35 seconds.
Right.
90 seconds in the microwave. Bam, you've got yourself some tacos for the evening if you make your hamburger and all that stuff.
You have to differentiate. The 2 minutes is when you already have the meat made. Right?
Well, yeah.
Just the shell you're making for 2 minutes.
We're talking about the shell. Obviously, you got to have the meat. And then there's so many other things. Now, we tested ourselves on a few things. There were some things I tested myself. I made pizza, and I used 2 of these homemade microwave tortillas.
Yeah.
Put them together with some cheese. It made a very thick pizza. I could hardly eat the whole thing.
Yeah, I thought so, too. It was too thick.
At 1 hour, my glucose was at 92. That was supposed to be the peak. And it was. At 2 hours, it was at 86. Never even got to 100.
That was really good.
These babies have about 1 gram of carbs per tortilla. I mean, next to nothing. And that's why I felt the freedom to use a top and a bottom and really stuff myself. And even then, I didn't even jump over 100. So outstanding on glucose control. The quesadilla, we cut those in half because they were just jammed full of chicken and cheese, right?
Yeah.
And we enjoyed them. You didn't test yourself that time. I did. And after
you didn't ask me.
Well, okay. After 1 hour, and I was just amazed. I didn't do a pretest, but after 1 hour, it was at 78.
Wow, that
Can
was
you believe
good.
that? It seems like, I don't know what my before glucose was, but it probably went down.
The quesadilla with this?
Yeah, we made a quesadilla. You made a quesadilla as far as for lunch.
That was good.
At 1 hour 78, where my peak should be at a 78.
78.
The fajitas,
Yeah.
we did a pre-test, we did a 1 hour test, we did a 2 hour test with those fajitas. Had them last night.
Yes.
At 1 hour, do you remember what your glucose was? You might remember if you look at this.
107.
107, which was kind of high. I was surprised it was that high.
What did I eat before?
I don't know. Mine was 83, so mine was excellent. But at 1 hour after eating the fajitas, your glucose went to 92. And mine jumped up to 97, so we were pretty close. And then at 2 hours, yours kind of bumped back up a little bit to
98.
98. Mine was lower at 88. But neither of us got a peak of up to 100. You started over 100, but then you went down from there. So these these were the low carb microwave tortillas.
Right.
This baby is good. I think it tastes good. It's not exactly the same texture as a regular tortilla.
Yeah.
So if you're Mexican and you've been eating regular tortillas all your life and now you eat this, you may say, well, that's just not like mama made. No, it's not, but it is good.
Yeah.
And it's easy to get used to if you'll give it a shot. So I guess the moral of the story is there's a lot of options out there, aren't there?
A lot.
And we could have had twice as many. We could have had 3 times as many different types of wraps and tortillas and low-carb chapatis of different kinds. Target makes its own brand. They're just popping up everywhere. It's a good time to be low-carb. Right. Some of these people complain, oh, there's not enough to eat. I might as well be dead. I don't care anymore. I just can't eat my favorite foods. What would we say to those people?
There are options out there. You can just browse YouTube or something.
Well, that's what you would say. What I would say would be, would you like a little cheese with that wine? Because there's no reason to be whining about not enough foods to eat. There's enough foods to last you for about a dozen lifetimes if you'll do a little research, get on YouTube, buy some cookbooks, low-carb cookbooks. They're all over the place. Quesadillas? Yep. Burritos? Yep. Pizza? Yep. There's just all kinds of things you can do with these flat breads made in a low-carb way. Before closing, I wanted to say a couple of more things about the microwave low-carb tortilla recipe. The standard recipe calls for 5 ingredients: an egg, a tablespoon of almond flour, a tablespoon of whey protein isolate, a tablespoon of whole psyllium husks, and a tablespoon of heavy cream. But I've been doing a lot of experimenting, and there are all kinds of ways you can alter this recipe to suit your taste. And I discovered one option totally by accident. I made the tortilla by memory and forgot to put in the whole psyllium husks. Guess what? It turned out great. It was slightly thinner than before, but otherwise tasted great, and it was still strong and flexible. In fact, I kind of liked the thinner version. I'm sure the psyllium husks are in the recipe for a reason, but I find I can do without it with no problem. I also found that I can make the tortilla larger if I want to by staying with 1 egg and simply adding an extra half tablespoon of all the other ingredients. And I can make it thinner or thicker by spreading it out with a spoon with a wider or a not-so-wide radius. Also, I can add heavy cream to make it thinner while keeping all the other ingredients the same. And of course, as I mentioned, I can substitute ground flaxseed for the almond flour, and it works just fine, but has a slightly different taste. And who knows what other alterations and substitutions can be made. So feel free to experiment, and if you hit on a winner, let us know in the comments. I'll leave 3 recipes for this tortilla in the comments: the standard recipe, a thinner version, and the flaxseed recipe. By giving this video a thumbs up, you'll get the attention of the YouTube algorithm, and they'll promote it to other diabetics who are desperately looking for foods they can eat and easy recipes they can make. And I hope you'll subscribe to this channel and then click that bell icon so you'll be notified every time we post a new video. God bless. See you again soon.